with all of you. Um, Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Mary DeVilliers. I serve as the Director of International Admissions for the University of Notre Dame, and I'm really excited to share with you today about my university, to talk about the life on the campus, the academic opportunities, the opportunities for hands-on learning, our placement, as well as our admissions process and our financial aid opportunities. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that I can launch into the presentation. Welcome to the University of Notre Dame. We were founded in 1842 by a very young priest, Father Edward Sorin. He was sent over from France with the Congregation of Holy Cross in order to found a university that he believed in his heart would be the most powerful means for doing good in the world. When he arrived at our beautiful campus, but it was winter time and there was not much, if anything, there, and he knew that he could build a university that would serve the United States as well as the world. And so in that time, we have grown into an incredibly global university, welcoming students from around the world and sending our students out into the world. As you can see, we are a really robust community. Our students come from all throughout the United States and more than 80 countries. When we welcome them onto our campus, our students are welcomed into our residence halls. As you can see, there's a huge array. Notre Dame is a bit more old-fashioned in that all of our dorms are single gender. So they are all female or all male with brothers and sisters dorms. It is incredibly lively. They are like a house system. So every dorm has a mascot. They have a lot of traditions. They ultimately become that place of home within the Notre Dame campus for our students. There's a lot of inclusivity in our dorms. There's a form of government. They do a lot of activities together. They go to mass together in the chapel that is in each dorm. And so there really is a sense of family when you come to Notre Dame. Outside of our residence halls, we have a really lively campus environment. There are more than 400 clubs and organizations. There are publications, there are leadership boards, there are numerous opportunities for you to continue the engagement that you've already been exhibiting in your high school and sharing your talents and developing new interests. A lot of our students from Philippines may be drawn to different organizations that span cultural and religious and service organizations, as well as professional organizations. So students can really develop themselves in many different ways while they're with us at Notre Dame. We also have a really robust athletic scene. We're very well known for our U.S. football team, as you can see them here. And I would say that outside of that, we have a lot of sports in terms of not only on the varsity level, but also on our intramural and our club level. Intramural would be our dorm system. There's more than 40 different sports. So if there's a particular sport that you really enjoy participating in, it is very easy to get involved on behalf of your dorm. And then we have club level sports. So that would include things like rugby and squash. So depending on where your interests lie, you may want to get involved with our sports scene. Conversely, we're also really passionate about the performing arts. More than half of our students were involved with performing arts while they were in high school. So there are numerous ways to engage with instrumental performance, vocal performance. We have numerous choruses, choirs, a cappella groups, and theatrical performances. That can range from improvisational groups all the way up to full-scale musical and opera productions. So if you enjoy participating or you enjoy watching these great performances, there's definitely a little bit of something there for everyone. We're also located in the city of South Bend. Our campus is just adjacent to South Bend. South Bend is a Renaissance community. It is a community with a lot of local heart. There are numerous events in South Bend throughout the year. There are also lots of independent restaurants, a really lively performing arts scene, including a world-class symphony orchestra and a amazing performing arts center that brings in all kinds of performances, comedians, ballet, plays, musicals, and just really a very lively downtown scene. A lot of Notre Dame students will go and enjoy the downtown, but a lot of Notre Dame students will also get involved with internships and opportunities for exploring local politics. We are also going to be the home of an Amazon computing site as well as a Microsoft computing site. So those are some new exciting developments that are happening in the South Bend community. It's a wonderful partner for our students on our campus and a great home to be in. We are a Catholic university. I would say that is something that really defines the Notre Dame experience in terms of what sets us apart from other universities you might be considering. At Notre Dame, we are proudly Catholic and we are a home for all faiths. We offer numerous opportunities for students to engage with that side of themselves. It could be engaging with faith life, but it could also just be really digging into your spiritual development, finding those opportunities to learn more about yourself, both in and out of the classroom, really being challenged to develop your ethical decision making, moral reasoning, really, developing that inner compass so that you can form yourself into a leader when you graduate, as well as a force for good within any organization or community that you may find yourself a part of. We like to say that we impart as much wisdom as expertise in your field of study. And so our campus ministry office, our faculty and staff, the residence halls, the organizations on campus all have a commitment to this very holistic approach to your time at Notre Dame. And so I would say that that is something that Notre Dame can uniquely offer you, that you can fully develop yourself and have a transformative educational experience. We're also very dedicated to service. 80% of our students are involved in service. That can be locally, but it's also nationally and globally. We have numerous funded opportunities for you to engage with organizations on both a macro level and a micro level. And that can take place during your school term breaks. It can take place during the year. It can take place during your study abroad. So our students really dig into opportunities to develop that side of themselves and to give back to different communities. We're also very dedicated to you as an undergraduate student. Notre Dame is unique in that it is a Research One intensive university that has a special emphasis on the undergraduate side of things. When you arrive at Notre Dame, you are going to get very specialized advising that is going to help you in that first year to determine your path ahead, and also to help you as you navigate transitioning into the Notre Dame community, and undertaking that development and growth that will take place in that first year. As you can see, we have a 98% retention rate from first year to second year. The main reason why we share that number is that you understand the success that we have in terms of that transition to higher education for all of our students, regardless of where they're coming from. We also have very happy students, students that feel part of our community and want to continue on to graduation. And they graduate very successfully, as you can see by the other number on the screen, in terms of the guidance that they're given, the way that they're able to achieve all of their goals within the time that they have with us, and having all those opportunities to move on and flourish from their Notre Dame education. In terms of what it looks like to be a student at Notre Dame, the average class size at Notre Dame is about 30 students, with 60% having 20 or fewer students. That is remarkable considering all of our classes are taught directly by our faculty members, majority of whom have the terminal degree in their field. When you arrive at Notre Dame, you are a first year student. You don't formally declare your major until the end of the first year. So during the first year, you will start to undertake some of the classes that will meet the requirements for your core curriculum, and that will span 9 different ways of knowing and allow you to build a broad-based preparation within all the fields such as the liberal arts, math, science, all of the social sciences, which will allow you to really develop all kinds of skills that will help boost you in your chosen career path. At Notre Dame, you can see we have our different colleges and schools, and students can endeavor to take multiple majors or minors across the different colleges and really blend together their interests over the course of their time with Notre Dame. It is very seamless to accomplish this with the help of your advising staff. And we have specialized programs for students, particularly within the College of Engineering, to allow them to endeavor to do that. We are a Research One university, and as such, research really has a special place for our students. It is easy to get involved with faculty-led research. We also have numerous centers and institutes that are conducting research on a massive scale. Many of them are tied in with governmental endeavors and collaborative efforts with other universities around the country. And so students can easily find their way to getting involved with research. As you see here, 89% of Notre Dame students participate in either research or internships. We're really dedicated to that hands-on learning at Notre Dame. In terms of internships, most students are going to do their significant internships during the summers, but there are numerous opportunities to be an intern during the school year, either with Notre Dame or in the local community, as well as virtually with a number of the corporations and organizations that foster Notre Dame internships. So students can really develop themselves, develop their CVs while they're a student, and be ready for the road ahead when they graduate. We are also really committed to study abroad. You can see that we were #2 in the nation for study abroad participation. Over 75% of Notre Dame students take advantage of global opportunities to expand their education. We have our own campuses in cities such as London, Dublin, Rome, and Jerusalem, and we also have partnerships with leading universities all over the world. One example would be we had a student last year who joined me at a college fair. She was studying engineering at NUS for a semester in Singapore. So that's just one example of how students might be engaging with their subjects outside of campus in South Bend. And at Notre Dame, when you graduate, we always say you never really leave Notre Dame. We have more than 220 alumni clubs all over the world, including in Manila. We have a very active club there. They've numerous times won awards in terms of the activities that they provide for the membership. We also have a lot of engagement with our alumni, even while you're a student. They're sort of like the aunties and uncles that really want to connect with you because of the shared experience of the Notre Dame education. We also, in terms of our success in placing our students, have a 98% placement rate within 6 months of graduation. That's largely career oriented, but it's also for graduate and professional study, as well as service endeavors and military service. So our students really find themselves on the trajectory toward the career that they're aiming for when they leave Notre Dame. In terms of our application process, it is very straightforward. We are on the Common Application, we're on the SCORE Coalition application, as well as the QuestBridge application. With our application, we are test optional for this application cycle. We have not yet determined for the following years whether or not we will be test optional. If you do decide to submit any test scores for SAT or ACT, we super score. So that way you can take the test. If you've taken it multiple times, we'll take the highest section score and add that up for your new overall score. And if you do not have a test score, it is not a problem for us because we will use everything else in your application to do a holistic review process. Overall, with all of your application materials, it is a holistic review process. That means that every part of your application bears weight in our consideration of you for admission to Notre Dame. We will be looking closely at your academic performance in your high school. We will also be looking at your letters of recommendation to see how you are as a student in and out of the classroom with your fellow peers, within the school community. We will look at your activities to see how you've engaged with opportunities in and out of your school, out in the community, or with your family. Many of you may have family responsibilities, you may have a part-time job. We take all of that into consideration when we're reviewing your application. We also will be looking at your essays. Your essays are a really important part of the Notre Dame process because it allows you to share with us directly about yourself in things that are important to Notre Dame. So you will see that we have our supplemental questions, as well as the common application essay or the coalition application essay. So all of these things that I've mentioned will be what is used to evaluate you in terms of if you will flourish with us and if we are really truly the best place for you. So we will use all of those materials accordingly. Our admissions office is your one-stop shop for all guidance, all information that you or your parents may need. So we really encourage you to be in touch with our office throughout this process. Anytime you have any questions or doubts, we want to be able to serve you directly. We're also a university that makes affordability a priority for all of our admitted students. At the time of your application, if you are seeking need-based financial assistance, regardless of your citizenship, we're going to ask you to complete the CSS profile. That will be used by our financial aid office to determine what you may need in order to enroll as a student should you be admitted. All of our students have access to financial assistance, and it will meet 100% of your demonstrated need. That means the information that you share through the CSS profile and your supporting documentation will be used by financial aid to determine scholarships and working in our campus that will meet the need of your family beyond what they are able to contribute toward the total cost of attendance. So your needs will be met and you will have no interruptions to your time at our university. All of this is to say that when there are students out in the world that are really seeking to be part of our very vibrant and very purpose-driven community, we want to support you in that journey. We really want to be a university where we can help you cultivate all the sides of yourself to make you into the strongest possible leader moving into your career field and your future communities of which you're going to be a part. We are definitely a family. We are the Notre Dame family, and we're really committed to making sure that all members of our family can flourish. And we really want to assist you on this journey. I really encourage you to reach out to us. You can see our socials below. They really offer a lot of great content to help you better understand the Notre Dame student experience, especially our Instagram. They have all kinds of takeovers. They have a lot of helpful information. They even have students who are studying abroad who do takeovers, so you can see what that experience is like. We really are committed to helping you on this journey, and we really appreciate you joining me today.
Okay,
And with that, I would like to take questions if possible, Rheign.
yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, just send them in the chat box or send them to the entire meeting or send them directly to me or Mix Mary. Okay, someone asked, um, what are the specific qualities that you look for a student in UND?
So as part of the application review process, obviously, you were coming to Notre Dame, which is a very lively and rigorous academic community. So we're going to look first and foremost at your academic performance in terms of how you've specifically prepared yourself for the Notre Dame journey. But again, we're also looking for students that are really meaningfully engaged in activities in their school and in their community. We offer a really vibrant student community with an eye toward developing you into an impactful leader. So we're really looking for students that they have a really specific why behind the what that they have been involved in. That's really meaningful to us. As I said before, the vision and the mission of Notre Dame is to be a force for good in the world. And so seeing the qualities already on display that align with that mission are important to us in the admissions office. We think that that will really help you to engage meaningfully when you get to our university. And as I said before, it is a holistic process. So it's not, numerically driven as much as it's very much all sides of the application being impactful in the decision that is made.
Thank you. Another question from the audience is how generous is ND with financial aid for international students?
Yes. So, regardless if you're an international student or a US citizen, we are going to meet 100% of your need. Let me walk you through what that means. So, sometimes students will say there are schools that are much less expensive. This seems like Notre Dame is quite expensive when you look at all costs. However, we are going to use the CSS profile to determine what you are able to contribute from your family, taking into account all other expenses, so medical expenses, educational expenses for other siblings in your family, that kind of information. And so from that information, we'll determine what is an amount that your family can pay, and then subtract that from the total costs. So total costs meaning tuition, room and board, fees, living expenses, health insurance, and from there, whatever is left over that is left to pay, Notre Dame is going to provide you the need-based scholarships and working in the campus to address all of that cost. So we are going to make sure that whatever your family cannot cover, we will cover. So that's meeting your full demonstrated need. We also have merit scholarships, and every year we have at least one or two or three winners from the Philippines of our merit scholarships. When you apply to Notre Dame, you get automatic consideration for those merit scholarships. It is a very highly selective process. And as I said before, we're really committed to meeting the demonstrated need of our students. But the merit scholarships do offer you an opportunity to get from $25,000 to full tuition funding, depending on which one you might secure, and also be part of a scholars group. And that scholars group will be a cohort that you are a part of all during your time at Notre Dame. So that is a really good opportunity. Outside of that, there are opportunities to have funded experiences at Notre Dame, to also apply for grants that will meet costs for things like study abroad, living expenses during your internships, if it happens to be in an expensive part of the country like Silicon Valley or New York City. And then we also have opportunities for you to engage in meaningful service endeavors that are funded by Notre Dame, to engage in global research efforts funded by Notre Dame. So again, there are numerous ways that we are supporting our students and accompanying them on the journey at our university.
Thank you. There's a follow-up question from the same person. Will the application be looked at as a need-aware applicant if scholarship is needed?
So when you apply to Notre Dame, you are going to be submitting your application to our office, and you're going to be submitting the CSS profile, which financial aid will look at. So we will not see the CSS profile. If you are admitted and you choose to enroll, you will then work with our International Student and Scholar Affairs Office to submit a certification of finances and have them assist you with the I-20 process. And that I-20 is used to get your student visa.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. This is a two-part question from the same person. Do you look at the student's GPA more or extracurriculars? And what is a GPA that is considerably passable upon admissions to Notre Dame?
So for our purposes, it's not so much what is your grade point average as it is the kinds of courses that you've undertaken in terms of whatever is available at the school you attend and how you've done with the rigor of that coursework. We're interested in seeing your trajectory as a student. This is a very human process to go through high school, especially with some of the challenges that we've had in the past years. And we keep all of that into account. Everything that you share with us that has impacted your academic journey is kept in account. So there are many different kinds of profiles for a competitive applicant academically. But by the end, we want to see that you have really challenged yourself. You're doing well with that level of rigor. That will indicate to us that you have the ability to flourish with the incredibly amazing but rigorous academic community at Notre Dame.
Thank you. And then someone else also asked, will it be a factor that my current school is also a Catholic university? I'm assuming their high school is under college, like for example, Ateneo.
Wait, can you repeat that question one more time? I'm sorry.
Will it be a factor that my current school is also a Catholic university?
Oh, I mean, we have been working with students from the Philippines for many years, so we are very familiar with the majority of the high schools that a lot of our students are applying from. So I think, you have a lot to share if you've been in a specifically Catholic school that resonates with what Notre Dame offers as a community. But it's not necessarily one advantage over another school. But again, you do. Engage in a way that is similar to the spiritual engagement that we offer at Notre Dame.
Okay, thank you. Once again, guys, if you have any additional questions, just send them in the chat box, either through the meeting or send them directly to me. And also, I want to plug our previous president, Matthew Vieira, and our current VP for internals are studying at Notre Dame. So our org loves Notre Dame. We love the campus, the alumni, the orgs, everything there. I also applied to Notre Dame. So yeah, you guys should really consider going there.
Yes, I remember your name.
Okay.
Um, I do want to also share that we will be back in Philippines in September. My colleague Leanne is going to participate in the World University Fair on September 14th. It's being held at International School Manila, ISM. So you should look to see if your school has been invited to that fair. And then if you are in our mailing list, that evening, Leanne is going to be hosting an information night at Kickstart Ventures. And so you will have access to come to that as well. And you can meet with Leanne, you can meet our alumni, you can meet parents of current students. So it'll be a good opportunity to learn more about Notre Dame.
Okay, thank you so much for that plug. Someone else also asked, what's it like living in the area where the university is located?
Oh, that's a wonderful question. So, the Notre Dame campus itself is an enclosed community. It is really, really safe. It is very filled, as you can see from the picture behind here, with trees and lots of nature. We have a lot of, really sweet animals and two beautiful lakes that make up our campus. And then adjacent to our campus is the city of South Bend. We're also part of a more major area called Michiana. So we're very close to the Michigan border, so Michigan and Indiana, Michiana. And there are about 500,000 people that live in the Michiana region. So adjacent to South Bend are two other cities. One's called Mishawaka and the other is Granger. And those two offer a combined opportunity of stores like the really big box shops. We have a mall, we have all kinds of restaurants. So within South Bend, we have more independent restaurants. And then with Mishawaka and Granger, they have more of those chain restaurants. So there are lots of dining opportunities, shopping. There are two major medical centers. So really, there's a huge amount of resources for our students. And even close to campus, we have what's called Eddy Street Commons, and it has restaurants and coffee shops. There's a juice bar, there's a 7-Eleven. We also, further down that street from the Eddy Commons, is a Trader Joe's grocery store. So that's walking distance for our students to go and get really great things for their dorm rooms. And every dorm has a kitchen, so you can go and get things and prepare meals. And then, in addition to what's walkable, we also have Uber and Lyft, and we have Uber Eats and Instacart and Amazon deliveries coming every day to campus. So there's a big online shopping presence as well for anything that you might need. I would say a lot of our students tend to gravitate toward what is happening on campus because they are just very enthusiastically busy with the clubs that they're a part of. There are numerous opportunities, as I said before, with performing arts events, sports. The dorms have a really strong community, so people tend to go and cheer for their dorm mates when there's major athletic opportunities or competitions with other dorms. And then each dorm has a signature event each year that they invite all the other dorms to. So that could be like our Fisher Hall Regatta, where they challenge each other to a race across one of our lakes in boats that each dorm made by hand. So things like that are happening all throughout the year. It is a really lively environment on our campus.
Thank you. Okay, we have two questions from different people, but they're kind of related. So the first
Okay.
one is, does Notre Dame offer internship or part-time job opportunities for students? And then the second question is, are there any job opportunities for undergrads or for international students in general?
Yes, so international students and our undergrads are able to work in the campus up to 20 hours a week. Some students may have one position that is 20 hours, or they might have multiple positions where they're doing a little bit here and then a little bit there. They will post those positions within our financial aid website. It's very straightforward to apply for those. A lot of our students might also find jobs or internship or paid research opportunities through their faculty members or through different offices on campus. So as you go through your time at Notre Dame, you're going to find a huge diversity of opportunities to engage with for paid employment in the campus. In terms of internships, there are internship opportunities within the Notre Dame community, but also in the local South Bend area. As I said before, there's a lot of industry. You can get involved with local city government, with the county offices, which is a rare opportunity. If we were in a larger area, that might not be an opportunity, but because of the size of the community that we're a part of, that is something that our students take part in. Like, for example, we had a young man from China who was working with the county health department as they were doing lead testing and doing research on the impact of lead in the community. And he said, if I were in like Boston or New York, I might not have this opportunity, but here in South Bend, I've been able to do this. So that's just a small example of that. And then, as I said before, Amazon and Microsoft are opening huge computing centers on either side of the city. So those may be opportunities in the future for students to engage with. But a lot of our students are going to do their internships during the summer, and then they go all across the nation and around the world for those. We have a lot of great connections through our alumni, as well as companies that come directly to our campus to recruit for those internships. So it's not unusual starting from, January onward to see students LinkedIn announcing with pride which internship they're going to be taking that summer. So certainly you're going to have many opportunities to develop yourself professionally, but also to find that part-time employment in the campus.
Okay. The same person asked, are the job opportunities on campus or off campus? I think you mentioned there's some off campus, but are there on campus jobs?
Yes. So international students or those students who need a visa to study in the US can only be doing the part-time work in the campus. Our campus has a flat rate of $15 an hour for the part-time employment on the campus, which very much rivals that of off-campus. So that really provides students an opportunity to earn money for living expenses. And so anyone who is a US citizen can work either on the campus or off the campus. So you sometimes will see students who are working off campus, but you have to be a US citizen for working off campus.
And then just to clarify, are the students allowed to work on their first year or in the third year?
Yes, you can work as early as your first semester. So usually toward the living expenses that are part of your financial aid package, they will assign work study to cover those. And when they say work study, that just means working in the campus. You keep the money that you earn. So if you're working up to 20 hours a week, all of that money is going to be for you to use. And we have in our International Student and Scholars Affairs, people who will assist you with the paperwork for being able to work while a student on our campus.
Okay, thank you. Next question is there a strong Filipino community within the university that can help students feel at home?
Yes, so many of our students from the Philippines get involved with an organization called FASO, which is our Filipino Student Association. They have a lot of events that they hold throughout the year. They form a really great community. We've also had students from the Philippines get involved with our Hawaii Club, which is very interesting but wonderful. And then there are larger Asian student organizations on campus that students will get plugged into. So I think overall, our Filipino Student Association and our students coming from the Philippines really form a strong bond of family to support each other. And it's not uncommon that while they're in the Philippines after they've been admitted, that we have events to celebrate them. So this past year, I came to Manila in April to celebrate our admitted students and their parents, and we had a really big, amazing event. And then right before the students came to campus this past week, the club in Manila had a send-off. So all of the current students at Notre Dame got to meet the incoming students, and all the parents got to meet each other. So there are WhatsApp groups, there are get-togethers, even during like the semester breaks when the students are home, they're getting together. They plan their travel so they can be on the same flights together. So really, you're going to feel that you are part of a community before you even get to Notre Dame. And then from there, you'll branch out within the Notre Dame family.
Thank you for that. We have another two-part question. Number one, is it easy for international students to secure housing on campus? And number two, is housing guaranteed only for the first year?
So housing at Notre Dame is guaranteed for all 4 years, and students are actually required to live in the campus for the first 3 years. So that means that you're going to be assigned a dorm. We do our dorm assignments a little bit randomly. So the residential life office assigns students to their dorms randomly, and they assign your roommate randomly. And you can change after the first year. A lot of students may stay within the same dorm community, but then join up with other students, or they might switch out to be part of different communities that they have found either through their classes or with other students that they've met. But yeah, you are going to have housing all 4 years guaranteed at Notre Dame.
Okay, can you walk us through the available residence halls in Notre Dame and like the amenities?
Sure. So all of our residence halls are unique in the way that they're constructed, and the campus feels large, but it really is quite walkable. So we have dorms that are the original dorms to Notre Dame from when we were founded. Those tend to be very adjacent to the gold dome building behind me. And you'll see them on campus. They have the same yellow brick as this building behind me. And then from there, as our university grew and evolved, so too did our dorms. So you'll see dorms that look slightly older and then more and more modern as you go through. They all have study rooms, they have laundry, they have kitchens that you can cook in. They also have shared spaces for lounging and gathering together, usually with a big TV in case they want to watch a football game for Notre Dame or other sporting events for Notre Dame. They also have a chapel in each one, and the chapel can be used at any time. They'll have at least one weekly mass, and then they may have other masses depending on the demand of the students. And then they have opportunities on each floor for study areas. So you will find that you can enjoy the community aspect of the dorm, but you can also find places to have quiet time for studying.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Next question is, how safe is the campus?
Campus is very safe. We have both a security force and our own police force. So technically, we're located in Notre Dame, Indiana. We're a fully incorporated area. So we have our own police force, our own fire department on campus. It is very safe. We don't have any of those blue lights within the main part of campus. They're more on the periphery of campus, which you'd only go there if you had a car parked out there, or you were living off campus in a house out in that direction. But otherwise, the heart of campus, where all of our dorms and our services are located, is incredibly safe. All of our dorms you can only access using your ID card, and you can only access it if you live in that dorm. So when you have visitors, you have to come in through certain entrances and that sort of thing. So it's very, very secure. We also have a rule for our dorms called parietals, that midnight during the week and at 2 a.m. on the weekends, if you have visitors over that are of the opposite gender of that dorm, they have to leave at midnight during the week and at 2 a.m. on the weekend. And that's just to ensure privacy and safety for all of our students.
Okay, we have another question. What is the average class size for business majors?
So average class size overall at Notre Dame will be at least like 30 students is the average, but 60% have 20 or fewer. Usually when you're taking classes that are more specialized for majors, they tend to even be smaller than that. So it would just depend on the class that's being held and how specialized it was.
Okay, and also what is the most popular major in Notre Dame?
So we have a pretty even split when it comes to the majors at Notre Dame. We just recently released an infographic that showed for the first year students coming in this fall where their majors are housed in terms of the colleges and schools. And it was pretty evenly divided between business, College of Arts and Letters, College of Engineering, and our College of Science. Our Keough School of Global Affairs and our School of Architecture are small. They tend to offer either one major or just a very small number of majors with minors. And so it was like 3% Keough, 3% architecture. But overall, it's pretty balanced. And then you do have students who are doing multiple majors across the colleges. So you can imagine that there's a good sense of balance in terms of the students that are at Notre Dame.
Okay. Uh, Someone else also asked, coming from the Philippines, what would be the best route to get to Notre Dame in terms of like flights?
Yes. So this is often, every year I try to do my own trips to and from better and better. I would say a lot of students will go via Tokyo, so either Haneda or Narita. You might also go through Taiwan. You might go through Seoul. You may go down to Hong Kong and over. But from those cities, you can get a direct flight to Chicago, and that's where most of our students will come to campus from. You can go all the way into South Bend. We have an airport that services United Airlines, Delta, American Airlines from the connecting hubs in the United States. So you can go that way. The last time I came to Philippines, I came via San Francisco. There's a direct flight from Manila to San Francisco on United and then San Francisco to Chicago. So there are numerous ways that you can access us. And then we've had students go the other way as well. So taking Emirates, for example, to Dubai and then Dubai to Chicago, or doing Qatar Airways and going through Doha. So again, lots of different ways you can do it.
Okay, guys, we're about to wrap up in a few minutes. So if you have any questions for Notre Dame, please send them in the chat box. Thank you. Okay, I don't think anyone's sending additional questions. But
Okay.
if you have any more questions but you can't think of them right now, just fill out our post college fair form. It's bit.ly/post college fair form. So if you also want to sign up for the university's newsletter, please make sure to fill out that form. Once again, thank you, Mix de Villers, for presenting Notre Dame to our audience.
Yes. Good luck this year. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us directly. We want to be your first and only stop in terms of getting the information you need to complete your application and to make your decisions about where you'll attend in the fall.
Thank you.